It's not the Fed's job to make or comment on tariff policy.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell reminded Senate Banking Committee members of this fact a number of times during his semi-annual congressional testimony. But as the arbiter of price stability, it's natural to question the Fed on tariffs, which many economists warn could be inflationary.
Just generally, when somebody's got to pay the tariff, and it can be the exporter, it can be the importer, it can be a middleman, and it can be the consumer.
For it, though.
It's not going to be easy to identify with any accuracy exactly where costs do fall, but I think it'd be hard to guarantee any particular outcome. I think the standard case for free trade and all that logically still makes sense. It didn't work that well when we have one very large country that doesn't really play by the rules. That's for elected people, and it's not for us to comment. Ours is to try to react to it in a thoughtful, sensible way and make monetary policy so that we can achieve our mandate.
The Federal Reserve's dual mandate is to maintain maximum employment while keeping inflation near 2%. The Fed sets interest rates to meet this goal, which affects how expensive it is to borrow money.
The economy is strong, growing 2.5% last year. The labor market is also very solid. Unemployment at 4%, of quite a low level. Inflation last year was 2.6% for the year. So we're in a pretty good place with this economy. We want to make more progress on inflation, and we think our policy rate is in a good place, and we don't see any reason to be in a hurry to reduce it further.
Powell's position on interest rates is in direct conflict with a recent declaration from President Donald Trump.
I'll demand that interest rates drop immediately, and likewise, they should be dropping all over the world.
Lower interest rates could spur more spending, which could be inflationary, though not always. The Fed chair did find some common ground with Trump, who took issue with banking practices last month.
But I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
While Trump's focus is on conservatives, concerns about debanking reach across party lines. The president has an ally in Senator Elizabeth Warren, who chastised the practice last week.
I think it's fair to take a fresh look on debanking. We hear a lot of people talking about that, and it's time to take a fresh look. I think we don't intentionally do these things, but sometimes regulation leads things to happen, and we need to be working on that.
But Warren and Trump still diverge on the role of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which Warren says tackles debanking. Over the weekend, Acting Director Russell Vought told employees to stop all work. Warren was instrumental in the creation of the Bureau, which is directly funded by the Federal Reserve.
If the CFPB is not there examining these giant banks to make sure they are following the laws on not cheating consumers, who is doing that job?
I can say no other federal regulator.
No one.
The suggestion that the ranking member has made here is that the big banks can now scam individuals right now. Any change in the laws regarding how they're supposed to be treating the individual consumers out there or anything along that line?
Law changes? No, I'm not aware of any
Any
law
changes in any rules that they would have to follow?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are they still audited, and do they still have the regulators in watching all of their businesses just as they did before?
Well, they'd have all the regulators except for the CFPB.
Well, it wasn't all tough questions for Powell. In fact, one was a bit of a softball, if you will.
The fact is, knock on wood, we have experienced a soft landing, haven't we?
Not for me to say, really. I'll let others
Well, have
make
we
that
experienced a hard landing?
No, we sure
Are
haven't.
we in a recession?
No, we're not.
I call that a soft landing.
While inflation is still hotter than the Fed would like to see, Republican Senator John Kennedy said Fed officials deserve credit for bringing it down from 9% without triggering a recession. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Simone Del Rosario.